keeps getting caught on. That I'm having issues with my sound. Oh, uh-oh. You can hear me now. Definitely having a mic problem here. Put it down, and it goes solid. And my hands are off. It's not showing up here. I don't have it. Can you hear me? Test, test, test. Testing, testing. Is that working? We got that? All right, we're using the internal microphone. My Yeti mic just totally took a dive on me. I would hit the mute button and it would go solid. And then I put it down and then it started flashing again that the mute was on. So sorry about that, guys. That was probably a really crappy first couple of minutes. of a live stream. But it's that $200 mic right here. The Yeti mic, this is what I use. And that button underneath there is what you hold down if you want to mute it. I don't want to mute it, but it kept muting itself. So in any case, we'll take a look at that later. We're not going to worry about that right now because that's not what we're here for. So, hey everyone, welcome. All right, so we got a lot of comments. They all say, your sound sucks. All right, so, and let's see who's here. We've got Ellie, my biggest fan. John's Touchpad, Glenn Phillips, Hannah Fornication. Josh Kirschman is here. The guy who makes me nervous. Let's see, Captain Kidd, Octavio, Miranda, Lutfi, Mark Colley. Good to see all you guys there. Got a good showing today. I like to see that. So we're going to go over the Nikola video. I see we got some other people here, but I know we want to get started here. So I'm going to show you the... All right. I was just told I'm losing the audio when I switch the scene, so give me another second. Sorry about that. Okay, we should have audio now. When you switch scenes, it doesn't have the input device for the audio, so the sound should be back here. We're going to start this over again. Okay, so I'm just going to wait for a little bit of confirmation. I know that the audio should be working now because I can actually see it with my eyes. We can hear you now. Thank you, Mark. Okay, that should be the last of the problems, unless I do something silly like unplug the computer. All right, well, here's our typical fly-in coming in from the north, headed south. See the water campus over there on the right. And we're coming up to, we always head like right towards the tent. And outside the tent today, we saw one Nikola tray, BEV. It was number 8. We tweeted out a picture of that earlier. So if you guys are on Twitter, you would have seen that. And I have some echoing sound that I got to take care of. All right. So, sorry about that, guys. All right, you see that trench going from the northwest corner that's headed towards the dynamometer building? There's the Nikola tray, number 8, just sitting out there. I don't know what they're doing, if they're doing any testing. We didn't get to see it today because it was just sitting there. It was a sharp-looking truck. We got a couple good angles of it, and we're going to take a look at that right now. Javier Calderon. Hey Bear, thanks for your every week videos. Keeps me alive with my investment in Nikola. Hope to get back to your channel in 2023 in the form of a huge donation once I score a big shot with the stock. Well, I'm hoping that happens sooner than later. We're all rooting for Nikola at this point. They're putting a great big effort into getting us some trucks. I was got some articles to show you later, some FUD, which I want to remind you guys when you see stuff like this. Don't read it because it's nonsense. It's actually, there's articles coming out as of today that are just full of lies. And we'll go over that later. It's just real disappointing to see. So there's a side view of number 8, looking at all of its glory, ready to go. Wish we could catch some more driving around, but we just don't seem to get the timing going. 41 best, Mr. Bear. Do we have lucid coverage today? We did put out a tweet about getting 10 patrons before 10 a.m. Pacific time, and we did not get that. So we did not go out to Lucid today. We're looking for a little bit more support from Lucid, and we're going to probably announce after this video, we're going to put out a tweet, our program that we want to institute in order to get more patrons so that we can go out to Lucid more often. And we're going to put that out probably after this video. We're going to tweet it out. We just need some more support to drive out there. It's an hour drive away, so which means it's an hour drive back, and then it's our time and everything. So we just want to see if we can get a little compensation to offset our costs. You see the trench is filled in with a couple of pipes. Those look like electrical pipes, electric conduit, gray in color. That's usually the color of electrical pipes. Pan BV Nice. Trevor Milton, since being indicted in July, he has sold more than 300 million of his shares. Why are you hodling? I'm going to read that exactly as you wrote that. Why do you think Trevor sold his shares? Because he's got to spend that money before it gets taken back. He also is going to have to be paying a lot of fines and a lot of lawyers. So as we're passing over, that's the wash station on the right, the dynamometer building on the left, now in the middle. And it looks like they're doing some more outlines. Let's go back and I'll bring that up a little closer for you. Well, maybe not a little closer, but I'll outline where where it's at. I can see new markings on the ground right here, and then down, and then here, and down. And from what I've heard, right over here is going to be a hydrogen fuel stack right on the outside of this building. That's coming in the future as part of this construction, I believe. So I don't know what's going on where the lines are. There's also a line right around this section right here. Complete square has been made. So don't know what that's for yet, but we'll find out soon enough. Investing Genius. How many Nikola vehicles have been sold? There's a difference between sold and delivered. I know that there's been 2 that were delivered last week. And we've got a surprise towards the end of this video, or in a couple minutes. We're going to give you an idea of what's going on with production, because we have something outside the factory that you guys need to see. Yeah, Guillermo Vacas. Probably messing up that last name. Amazing how Nikola faced the storm and how it's starting to deliver. They are starting to deliver, and it's pretty impressive to get over the giant hurdle that Trevor threw down for them. But they're getting past that, and they are delivering vehicles. And JKM, yeah, so glad the SEC settlement is behind us. It is. It's over with. Any news is not even related to Nikola anymore. It's just related to Trevor and what he did as far as that goes. Ellie, wow, 10.6K. Good job. Love your videos, Bear. Thank you. Thank you, Ellie. All right, now here we see some guys working on the roof. They're putting down that rubber membrane. Weather's been kind of a little rough for us in Arizona the last couple of days. It's been wet, been windy and chilly. We don't like any of those things. But we see the guys are out there working today, which is real good. Somebody had commented on Saturday's video about the lines on the roof. If you can see them up here, the black lines. That came out because it rained on Friday and all the dirt gets washed away, and that's where the roof is actually at a slight angle so that it drains off. So that's why you'll see lines along the roof like that. It's just where the dirt is settling, because we have so much dust and not rain. It ends up you get a big layer, and then when the rain comes in, it just leaves it right there and leaves you the lines like that. Hey, Micah's here. I've never seen you in the chat before, Micah. It's good to see you. Nikola Trey, rebadge Iveco equal nonprofit, LOL. That's not what that actually means. Yes, these are Iveco trucks. Iveco makes the frames, Iveco makes the cab, and Nikola changes all the other parts. You know what? They probably supply the axles too, but maybe they don't, because the axles are not standard axles. So Micah, yes, they are. they are Iveco trucks. They have a partnership with Iveco. This is very common in the auto industry for companies to outsource products. Nothing very odd there. Nothing at all. JKM, saw you on Twitter. Looks like 14 frames. Don't spoil it. JKM, don't spoil it. Hannah Fornication Bear, big love from the Netherlands. Keep going, bud. Thank you. I always like to go to the Netherlands. It seems like a nice bunch of people there. You never see them get into wars or anything. Just mind their own business and live their lives. Anyway, this is the security building over on the left. What they're doing on the right, I don't know yet. We'll find out soon enough. But we're going to take a little spin around here, and maybe we're going to see what's coming up next. JKM, we love when Micah comes around. I've never seen him in the comments before. So, yeah, he's like family now. He is. Or maybe she. We don't know. So anyway, let's... Oh, I hope that camera pans right now, because we're going to get to that. The thing I wanted to show you guys, unless you're on Twitter and you saw it. Okay, so that's the trailer that they use to test out the trucks. That's got, I imagine, 40 tons of concrete on it right there. And they load that up, hook it up to a truck, and then they could test how it's doing under load, because that's going to be a heavy, heavy trailer. But that trailer's been sitting there since last week. I'm sure they take it out, but it's good to see that, because you need something like that for testing. So this is the surprise. And apparently this, I'm going to go back to it. I just want to get the good view before we zoom in too far. Let me, yeah, let's go. There we go. That's going to be the best shot. That's 14 truck frames. So I need to look back on Saturday's video, because it was on Saturday's video and we didn't notice this until like late today. So that's why we threw out the Twitter post. But those are 14 truck frames, and that gives you an idea of production. You don't order that unless you're about to use it. Those things cost money, and it takes a while to ship them. So you gotta be ready to use your parts as they come in, and that's what all car companies do. They don't let parts sitting around for a while. So those things are going to go right onto the production line. We're going to go back on the videos, and I'm going to check to see if there was more frames. But there's 14 that we count. There could be some more inside. I don't know, but that was pretty cool to see, because that tells you they're getting ready for 14 trucks right there, if not more. Don't care. Says Micah's trying to invest in Nikola. Nah, I know. Maybe he is. He just doesn't want to admit it because of everything that he said. Guillermo, is the Nikola Tre the first Class 8 truck delivered to customers in the U.S.? That's a good question. There might be some other test vehicles out there. I know some of the other guys know about it. Thank you, Josh. Having the material there when you need it is called just in time. JIT. He's even got a name for it, or an acronym. Of course, they have acronyms for everything. It's like JPH, jobs per hour. That's something that Josh taught me. Jobs per hour. Let's see, this is awesome. 14 frames. Wow, and more coming. Yes, I'm sure there are more coming, because you got to, the way the ordering system is these days, you got to order everything in advance. Everything in advance. What is the status of Maribay Para GM deal? Did Nikola pay them $1 billion? Nikola never paid them. That wasn't part of the deal. I don't remember the exact parts of the deal because it fell apart so quickly, but GM backed out of that. There's still a possibility that they can be a supplier, from my understanding, but that's not much of a deal anyway. Anybody can be a supplier. Amazon could be a supplier. You know, they're a supplier to me. They supply me with charging cables, so technically they're a supplier. So having GM be a supplier for some sort of technology is not going to be that unusual, or parts, technology or parts with technology. There's a water campus over there. Not much going on over there for right now. We do have in the corner, there's a bunch of blocks stored over there. And I'm wondering if they're going to be using these blocks around that security building, because it looks to be the same type of construction block wall. But we'll see how that plays out. Could be for something else. Josh, you are becoming an SME. I know what SME means. I know that one. Subject matter expert. Good job. Thank you, Josh. Appreciate that. There is talk on the streets Nikola will be announcing trucks with San Diego port soon. Ooh, that would be interesting. They're going to have a lot of orders coming through real soon. There were some announced, and we're going to go to that in a couple minutes with the one announcement over the weekend. But I think there's going to be a lot more announcements coming soon, especially when they're able to ramp up a little bit. So that's going to be nice to see. It's not the first one, but it's one of the longest driving range for now. That was not my phone. That was probably someone in the chat got their phone notification through my computer somehow. Anyway, we took a look at the mountains on our way out, just to show off the zoom again. You see that little spot and how far away we were from that? In case you missed that, let me show that to you real good. Again, look. Okay, so you see how far we are? Zooming in. And I think we're zooming in on this spot up here on the left. Right here. We're going to switch screens. This is just showing off that awesome zoom on this camera. Okay, so this is where we're at. I'm going to keep my mouse there. See how far we are from there and how close we were able to get? That was great. I just want to stop this for a second right here also. We put out a tweet asking for more Patreons in order to fly Lucid another day, or to fly today. We didn't quite get what we were hoping for, so we didn't fly there. But we did add a bunch of Patreons today. And new on that list is Justine, Hare Krishna, Bob, McKay, Brian C. I didn't think it was new today, but maybe he was one. Yeah, okay, Brian C. We also added Phillips, Mahesh, MZAJE 1000, Dave W. and Oscar. So I want to thank everyone who, if you guys are in here, I want to thank you for joining our Patreon. And if any of you guys want to, we would really appreciate that. And we just got a super chat from OC Fire 34. What's the next Lucid flyover? It's going to be Wednesday. And thanks for stopping in, OC Fire. I appreciate the super chat. And we will be going out there Wednesday. We're going to announce on Twitter. What we're going to do is we're going to be looking for a certain amount of Patreons to add more Lucid flyovers. And we're going to add, we haven't decided on the levels yet, but once we get to another level, or, you know, we're going to, a certain number of patrons, and we're going to add a day. And then when we get to a certain number of patrons after that, we're going to add what would be a fourth day, and another level after that, and we will add a fifth day of flying if we can get enough patrons. We just need that kind of support running this channel and taking all the time that's actually required to put all these videos together. It takes a lot of time, and we don't get paid very well from YouTube for this. So we're hoping that we can get some Patreon support, and we will start flying out there more often, because I have been asked numerous times by different people on through chat messages, through Twitter, what can they do to get us to fly more? And we just say we need support. We need support to help pay for that drone, which the new drone that we bought is $4,500. We need Patreon support, and, you know, watch the videos and watch the ads. Don't click skip ad. That helps. Little things like that. So that's what we need to get out there flying some more. What is the status about Lucid Producer EV today? We don't have any Lucid for production, I assume you're saying. We don't have any Lucid production information today. Glenn says, I'm so very glad you're getting more patrons. Yes, so are we. We definitely started off slow on that, but it's starting to come around. We did get 10, and we had asked for 10, but we needed 10 before we flew, and we ended up getting 10 after we flew. So we weren't able to do that today. Who did Nikola sell this truck to? Trevor? Yes, Harry, that's right. That's exactly right. Trevor bought it because he sold a bunch of shares and he bought himself a Semi. Nikola went from 80 to 10, but low can go lower. Nikola is precarious investment given its past lives. How can you trust a company with this history? Well, you look at it like this. The guy lying was Trevor Milton. He was the CEO. He was in charge. And he was the one lying. No one else was accused of lying. I understand that they all work there at the same time, but sometimes you have somebody who's out of control and is going to say what they want. But now he's no longer there. They got rid of him. They got rid of all of his projects that he wanted to do all at the same time, which weren't possible. And they're moving on, and now they're producing trucks. And that's what matters right now, that they're producing trucks. Octavio says, thanks, Barry. We really appreciate your effort. You're welcome, Octavio. We are there for you guys. Glenn says, when able to do some flyovers of the local city and other infrastructure nearby, I've never been to that part of the country. There's not much to see out here. There's where the site is, there's a lot of farmland. Just north, they actually make flowers of some sort. In the other areas, I'm not sure what they're even growing there. We haven't paid that much attention. It almost looks like hay or just something for horse feed. Let's see. How's the Q4 will look for Nikola? I think they're going to have income. I just don't know how many trucks they're going to get delivered. So we're hoping that it's more than 2. But we'll have to see what happens. They did say up to 25. There's only a week left, and I don't think anything really is going to get delivered unless they're already on the way before the end of the year. Ogden, Bear, got to give you another shout out for your consistency, dedication, and always being present, feeding us information and valuable insight. You're a treasure for us investors. Well, we're glad that we can be there for you guys. So I appreciate those comments. I really do. So this article came out, I believe, on Saturday. Nikola gets order for 10 Nikola tray with an option for up to 100. So the option relates to whether or not they like the trucks, but that's 10 orders right there, and they're going to be delivered in the first part of 2022. Those trucks, 10 of them, are not going to have a problem. The customer is going to look at it. They're going to be like, okay, this works. If everything's working the way that it should be, they're not going to have an issue with picking up the other 90. I don't see any reason why they won't. If the trucks do what they're designed to do, they're going to pick up the other 90. I'm just saying from experience with going from an ICE vehicle to an electric vehicle, you save so much money. And this transport company, they're going to save a lot of money, and that's what's going to matter. If there's things that maybe need some improvement here and there, I'm sure they'll give feedback, and those are things that can be worked on if it's necessary. Don't care. I'm not saying I don't care. What I'm saying is don't care. Just did a super chat. So thank you, don't care. I appreciate that. Since when you are investing in Nikola, and I think every time Trevor sells shares, those are wonderful news. We don't want him in the company. Yeah, Trevor's gone. So why are we even talking about him? Because people write silly articles and focus it on Nikola instead of focusing on him. If the article is about him and his trial, focus on him. So the article continues on. They're going to be delivered in the first half of 2022. For all we know, some of those frames right there could end up there. But I don't think so. I think those frames are going to end up for trucks that have already been ordered, because there are plenty of orders to fill right now. So I'm sure those trucks are going to be made and shipped out. Let's see. So the CEO of Hanif Transportation visited the Nikola leadership team, visited the factory in Coolidge, and went ahead and ordered the trucks. And this order was placed originally through one of the dealership agreements that they have with someone in the Midwest or somewhere, not the Middle East. I almost said Middle East. So this is something that's going to, once they start selling these trucks and more people can see them and other trucking people can see them, it's just going to increase the likelihood that they're going to get more and more orders. IMELT says, super chatters are the best. OC Fire and don't care. Yes, they are, and we do appreciate them. TTSA on Twitter keeps bragging and loving their new Nikola. They keep saying how powerful and smooth their new tray is working. Well, it is working, and that's we're gonna like I said, we're gonna see more and more deliveries. Just like in this corner, you can see this. What's trending? More and more Rivian vans. Maybe we'll end up talking about that tomorrow on fast charging with Brian, because we're doing episode 9, I think, tomorrow, Tuesday, at 4 p.m. Pacific time. Always get those times confused because it's not my time. I'm not in Pacific time right now. Hennef has a fleet of 2,000. If they like, they'll buy more and more. Yes, they will. So there's a lot of big trucking companies out there people just never hear about. And they're just going to start ordering these trucks. As long as they are able to make them, it's going to come down to a point where the companies are going to just want them. They're going to want them sooner than later because they're going to realize every day that goes by they're losing money. Now, want to start talking about hydrogen. Got a lot of skeptics out there about hydrogen, and then I've got a lot of people telling me we need to talk about it more because hydrogen is going to be something that's going to work out, especially for the long haul. I'm in the Sandy Monroe corner where I feel that it's best for long range because they can go further. Short range battery is going to be a fairly decent competition to hydrogen, but if you can have a truck that can do both, then it can make more sense as long as you can fill up the hydrogen. I'd like to start seeing something with the infrastructure and something under construction as far as a hydrogen generating station. If anybody out there in the chat has any news on construction that's actually started, give me a shout out, let me know. I'd love to be able to find out where it is and maybe investigate it a little bit more. Let's see. Michael Mitchell says, if there's an issue with the business, it will be worked out. The demand is off the charts, and Nikola is first to market regarding Class 8 FBEV, both in North America and Europe. And Captain Kid says, thank you for your dedication to this project and running to ground the bashers. Alexi, thank you so much for the lucid flyovers. If we see 21 aerial blade rims, then they started making GTs. Yeah, we're definitely made a point last week to zoom in far enough that we could see the rims on those cars, because if we can see which style it is, it can either tell us that maybe it's not this car or maybe it is a different car. So that's one thing that we will be looking at on our next flyover again, because that's what we did. Patrick Schultz is here. He says, hi all. Hi Patrick, it's good to see you. We're getting, I want to show you another video here. Let's see, not a video, an article. And this is the FUD that you guys need to be leery of, because this is the nonsense that is going on. Nikola hit with a $125 million fine for lying to investors. Well, we know that that is already inaccurate. This is actually from today. And this fine thing was announced weeks ago. So they're just regenerating garbage. And the first line, electric truck maker Nikola has been slammed with a $120 million fine by the SEC for lying to investors and falsely inflating its stock price. First of all, it was one person. It was Trevor Milton. It was not Nikola. It was Trevor Milton. Yes, he was the CEO. So technically, yeah, it's Nikola. But it was one guy. He's getting fined. Well, he's not getting fined yet. He's on trial. He's going to go on trial for his lies and for what he did. But the $125 million fine was an agreement between Nikola and the SEC as something to pretty much wash this away, just put this behind them so that they can move on. And they're also going after Trevor Milton in the future for that $125 million. So they weren't slammed with it. They weren't hit with it. This was weeks ago. And this is just regenerating more nonsense. If you go through this article, it continues on about such deceit served Nikola by boosting its stock price. Yeah, well, maybe that had something to do with it. But it goes on to talk about running out of money, about the Badger. And the Badger is old news. The Badger doesn't exist. It's long since been removed from the equation. They never would have been able to do the Badger program, as it was going to cost $3.1 billion over 6 years. Well, they don't have that kind of money, and that's how you drive a company into the ground, by trying to expand and do too many things at once. Let's see here. This thing goes on, but it's nonsense. If you see stuff like this, you gotta just ignore it. I've got another article here, another ridiculous one. Nikola's lost year, delayed trucks, fallen stock, and short on cash. They go through this and they continue to say, well, they're short on cash, but they have about $800 million. That's really not that short on cash. And the way that things are worded here is that they say that they're tinkering with the hydrogen fuel cell. They're not tinkering with it. They're making them. They're an alpha prototype. That's not tinkering. I tinker in my shop and try to fix something, and then I don't fix it because it's tinkering. Tinkering usually doesn't get things fixed or made. So this continues on with more FUD, and I'm just throwing this out here. You guys, when you look at this stuff, if there's a comment section, put something in there. There's no comment section on this because people don't want to get called out on their nonsense. There's out and out lies in this article, but that's what people want to do because it's clickbait. They want you to click on it. So if you do click on it, comment on it, let them know that they're idiots. I'm not that type of person. I would never do that. So you guys do that for me. Sean says, I like to think that once motorsports like F1 transition to renewables, we'll see a lot more R&D in hydrogen as a replacement. It's very possible that we can. I think hydrogen in a racing car could actually work out very interesting because you can probably fill them up faster. You might be able to get better range. Milan says, hey, Bear. Nagia says, hi, Mrs. Bears. She's around. Captain Kidd. Anyone have any idea what the cost differentials will be between the BEV and the FCEV? I think it's more likely that the FCEV is also going to have a contract with it for supplying hydrogen, where the battery electric, you can probably get your electric anywhere. So I think it's going to be substantially more. Just a guess, but you're going to have those contracts with it. JKM, if all keeps moving forward as expected in positive movement, stock will not be held at 10s for much longer. Load up as you can. Last time we see these prices. And they also want to short the stock, JKM. You're exactly right, says Glenn. 20s is the first quarter, I bet. That would be pretty cool. Pretty cool if it was. All negative news is good news for the stock price. Long term, those stories will wash away and the new Nikola will appear and the stock will go up. I hope so. Because I hate seeing FUD, especially when I know it's lies. We see FUD all the time, and whether it's related to Tesla, Lucid, Rivian, any one of them, there's always people out there. And it sucks when it's just not true. If it's real, it's one thing. But when it's not real, it's blatant lies, horrible reporting, horrible journalistic abilities. So anyway, so I want to remind you guys again that we are doing another episode of Fast Charging tomorrow. I know I said it before, but we're going to get ready to wrap this up here. So tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific time, we're going to be doing our Lucid live stream. On Wednesday, probably about 3 p.m., 2 or 3 p.m. Pacific time. And that'll be good because we haven't gotten a car count since Saturday. Maybe we'll get out there sooner and get a car count. I don't know. Somebody's got to do something to make it worth our while. So that'll be our next video live stream for Lucid on Wednesday. We will have another Nikola video on Wednesday. And that's about it, unless anyone's got any wonderful questions. Besides Trevor, Milton, sell today. Couldn't tell you what Trevor's doing. Let's see. The volume has been massive these last 2 trading days. People taking profits and coming on down. Okay, yeah. The price did get up into the 11s. So today, yes, it was on Thursday. It finished up above 11. It was up at opening today, it was up like another 20 or 30 cents, and then it went back down to the point where it's back around. Let's take a quick look. We are at 10.78. That's what we finished up at for the day, down 31 cents. So don't take your profits yet if you're smart, or don't take advice from me, because I usually buy as soon as it starts going down. That's the way I do it. So anyway, thanks everyone for being here. Please remember to hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. If you're interested in becoming a patron, take a look in the description below, and you can sign up as a patron. We have 2 new levels. If you're feeling kind of crazy, we do have a $50 level and a $100 level. Anyone sign up for that, I'll personally send them a kiss, which would be a little awkward. So anyway, thanks for being here today, and we will see you again on Wednesday and tomorrow. Bye now.